It's no secret how hard it is to catch carp in the colder winter months, so this winter I decided to hang up my carp rods and start learning how to pike fish. A good friend of mine, Josh, is a keen pike fisherman, so I called on him for some help, and we decided that Wergs Fisheries would be the best place for me to start learning how to pike fish properly. The first few sessions went really well, and I caught myself a few little jack pike along the way. And after spending more and more time with Josh on the bank, my confidence in my pike fishing grew, and as much as I am a carp angler at heart, I did start to enjoy the pike fishing more and more the more that I went. After catching more and more smaller jack pike, my desire to catch something bigger grew day by day and session by session. I found myself with a few days off work, so I decided that with these days off I was going to go back to Wergs Fishery and target a bigger pike. My first session back at Wergs Hall on my own didn't quite go to plan. I did catch another couple of jack pike, but they weren't very big, so I didn't take any pictures of them, and I held out to try and catch something a little bit bigger. It turns out those two little jack pike would be the only fish I caught on that session, so I went home feeling a bit deflated. But I woke up the next morning with another day off work and decided that I was going to go back and give it another go. So I packed the car up and headed back to Wergs for another day of pike fishing. However, the weather wasn't looking too promising today, as it was meant to rain in the afternoon, so I decided I'd stay for the morning and hope for the best. I really wanted to fish peg 15, as this was the peg we'd fished on previous piking sessions and caught from, so I was hopeful that there was nobody there, and luckily when I got there the peg was free, so I started to set up. As I was setting up all my stuff, all that was running through my head was the disappointment of the previous day, and I started to wonder whether today was going to pan out differently, or if it was going to end with the same result. I'm back at Wergs. Didn't do very well yesterday. I caught two little jacks yesterday, but didn't bother taking a picture of them. I was holding out something bigger, but ended up they were the only two fish I caught. So I've come back, got myself a sandwich first before I start baiting up and getting my rods in. I'm going to eat this, just because I don't want to be touching dead fish and then picking up my sandwich. So yeah, going to eat my sandwich. After finishing my sandwich, I underarm flicked my first rod into this bay to my left, which is where I'd previously caught pike from. After my first rod was set, I flicked my second rod about 15 foot to the right of the first one. After watching my floats for a couple of minutes, I took my first rod back out of the water and tried to reposition it a bit closer to the margin, as I was worried that my lines would get tangled if I caught a fish. I've just gone to recast that first rod back out. Got it caught in the brambles, man. And then as I've gone to kind of pull it back to get it out of the brambles, I snapped my main line. So I've lost a whole rig. So now I'm down to one rod. So I've moved over to the part of the peg which was to my right, because this one turned up, and as they're a protected species, the last thing I want to be doing is for the swan to be picking up my bait for whatever reason and injuring itself, or even worse, killing itself, and then me getting the blame for it. So I've moved over the other side. Just as I'm explaining that to you, he's decided he wants to come over this side as well. So this is not ideal. After the swan wreaking havoc with my swim and having no action at all on the floats, I started to wonder whether it was even going to happen. But thankfully, after a few more minutes of waiting, I've caught my PB pike. Look at this. Look at that for a pike, man. Biggest pike I've ever caught, that is. Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing with that. I'm going to go and get it back in. I just unhooked that pike, put it in my sling. I left it in the sling in the water while I set my camera up so I could get a video of me releasing the fish back into the water. And it managed to get out my sling while I was had my back turned to it. I was setting my phone up. So I've opened my sling and there's no fish in there. So I'm gutted about that, but absolutely buzzing with that fish. Weighed about 12.8, 12.9. My digital scales were flicking between 12.8 and 12.9. So that makes it a PV pike for me. It's the biggest pike I've ever caught. This is the first pike fishing season that I've ever fished You know, I'm predominantly a carp angler, so Josh got me into pike fishing this year. So yeah, man, enjoying the piking so far, especially now I've got a set PB. It's the only one I've ever weighed. I've never weighed any of the other ones that I've caught because they were all really small. So yeah, absolutely buzzing with that. I got my rod back out in the water. Hopefully we can get another one. Annoyingly, just after my confidence was starting to pick up, the rain started to set in, so I decided I was going to pack up and start heading home. In all honesty, I can't say I was disappointed, because I finally landed myself a double figure pike, which was a really nice size, and again, a PB for me. Hopefully it won't be much longer till I can get myself back on the bank and see if I can break my PB again. Hopefully this time with something maybe £15 plus, but for now, it's over and out. Peace.